this fucking works. I have no idea if we're live or not yet. Somebody in the comment, let me know if we are live.
I can't check either because my computer's so slow.
I got no idea. Because
usually people are alive when they say they're not sure if they're live.
I think we are. I mean, it looks like we've been live for like 20 seconds.
Well, then we're live.
I'm going to assume we are, and we'll go from there. So either way, welcome to Beers with Bad Company. As usual, drinking some beers. Don't drink on YouTube if you're a minor. Apparently, we have to say that for legal reasons. And we also have Alan, the Hitman Ford from Canada's Wipeout with us today. What's going on, Alan?
Oh, you know, long day at work, training for whatever tournament I'm going to next.
Are you going to a tournament soon?
I don't know. The next one I have is on the 10th. October.
And what's that?
Well, it's not a tournament, it's a super match.
Where?
In Detroit.
Oh, okay. I remember this one.
With Mr. Hooton.
Yeah, Joel, he's going to fucking crush you.
You really think so, eh?
Wow, he drinks Bush.
Well, I drink whiskey.
Right, but I mean, I'm not the whiskey man, I'm a beer man. And a man that drinks Bush, that's just a tough dude that's willing to fight for it.
I get it. I won't take it personal.
You don't want to end up in like a grinder style match with that dude. I'll tell you that right now.
No, but I mean, I can hang with some pretty good guys too, though. I'll be okay.
Well, you have for sure.
Yeah,
but I just really like Joel and that he drinks Bush and he's got a beard, so I'm gonna bet against you.
Yeah, I guess he's your guy.
Maybe I won't bet against you. I wouldn't put like my money on Joel, but I'll be cheering for him.
Just to piss me off, right?
No, I don't want to make you angry, Alan. I love you.
Yeah,
but I just really want Joel to win this match because he's got a beard and he drinks Bush. Like, how do you not cheer for that?
Well, I get it.
Why don't you grow a beard?
It's just not me. I know you loved it when I had one, but
I don't know. You were looking pretty beastie when you had that beard. All right, so we got some people in the chat here. Carolyn Looms with a super chat. Derek Smith is like poetry in motion and a bad dude. Derek is awesome.
Yes.
Derek is fucking awesome. Stacy Morgan. Well, I guess I'll super chat since there's no damn join button. I don't know how to fucking do that. I got to send links to people individually and I'm not good at it. So
it says right here, come have a beer and talk about what's good. And there's a link right there.
Is there a link to get in?
Yeah, I'm not clicking it because I'm already in.
I don't think that's... I tried to do that, but I think I fucked it up. I have no idea what that link does.
You sent me one, so how could you not?
Right, but I mean, I had to send that to you like personally. I can do that, but it's not easy, man. It then I gotta like pull out my phone because I don't know how to use a fucking computer. And seriously,
life in Evan's world is rough.
Well, I mean, I don't have like my tech guy here. You know,
who's your tech guy?
Well, it depends. I got a few tech guys.
Oh, you're good.
I bring this for beer.
Didn't you just open one?
Well, yeah, but it's gone. So that's not till October. You're not doing anything between now and October.
No, so far I don't have anything slated.
We should do something between now and October.
We definitely are going to. I want to. I don't know when's the TAL event. I just saw that is back on. So I don't know what he's planning for that, but it sounds like he's going to have people coming again.
Are you going to be pulling in that one?
I hope so. I had several matches lined up that didn't happen, so I would take any of them.
I got an invite for a TAL match.
Oh, maybe you just.
So if anybody that follows my channel, we had a video not so long ago where I was laying the smackdown on a dude and talking a little bit of shit. And right as I said, it's not going nowhere, the table broke and I went flying off the stage.
Yeah.
So the dude that I was pulling there, that's Dustin Hooton, who's a fantastic arm wrestler.
Yeah.
But he's from out in Red Deer. And his dad is just a fucking legend in Canadian arm wrestling. And he was very upset by the way I was treating his son, especially with all the comments about that I was making about his dad during the match. Like, I don't know why I would ever talk about somebody's dad like that, unless I was like trying to get a match with their dad, maybe. Either way, the old man, he really wants to whoop my ass. And I got a match with Len Hooton at the TAL3.
Awesome.
Len's a bad dude. Have you ever pulled Len?
I haven't.
Have you ever met him?
Other than when I was there. He was there when we were in Red Deer, was he?
Yeah, I pulled him there.
Yeah. So yeah. I met him.
He whooped my ass.
That was the first time I met him though. As far as I know.
My ass in the tournament after my super matches.
Yeah.
But either way, he's got the belt for the TAL, and I'm gonna go get it. He personally offered me a $5,000 bet, saying that he will make me quit in that match.
$5,000.
Right.
You won't quit. You'll break your arm off before you quit. There's no way.
That's like literally the easiest money I've ever won.
Okay, but if your arm breaks, technically you quit? Because you
Why,
can't.
You don't think I'm going to put my broken arm back on the table to finish the fucking game?
Yeah, I guess he'll probably quit because he won't want to pull you.
I'm betting that the referees cancel the match. So it's not even a win if he breaks my arm, right? That's a no contest if it's like doctor stoppage, I think.
True. That's an easy $5,000.
I'm not quitting.
Yeah.
I'm not quitting.
I know you're not.
But what kind of douchebag would he have to be to beat me twice more, knowing my arm's already exploded and I put my elbow back down? You think he's mad enough to do that to somebody?
No, I don't think so. Not from when I met him. He seemed like that kind of guy. But
no, he's a super good dude. But he was really pissed off when he saw that video. I think it was the part where I asked him, "How do you think your dad is gonna feel about another grown man spanking his son like this?" I think that's the part that pissed him off. His brother was super fucking mad too. He actually sent me like a bunch of messages and shit. Like he wanted to come like beat me up and stuff.
That's awesome.
Which is funny because I love all those guys. You know, I love Dustin too. And me talking that much shit just, well, you kind of sign up for that when you say, yes, I'll take a match, right? Like, I'm going to fucking do it. You can't get upset with me because I'm doing it. Like, I'm going to do it. Just deal with it.
Fair enough.
But his brother Dylan, awesome dude. I've only ever pulled with him once, left-handed at Nationals.
That was there too. Wasn't he there?
No, that was in Halifax the year before. But the whole weekend, when we're at the bars and shit, hanging out, partying for Canada Day.
When you're going to read, or did you freeze?
I think you froze.
You froze.
One of us froze. I'm hoping it was Alan, because if I froze, that's really shitty. Like the video chat, I'm hoping it's Alan that's frozen here, because I'll just keep reading through comments here. Carolyn Loons, great. Did you see Devin's video arm wrestling from the middle of the Ottawa Freedom Convoy? Yeah, those guys were arm wrestling there. That's a pretty big deal going on. Alan, I think you froze and your camera is currently off. Can you do a poll if we care about Schoolboy? Schoolboy? I don't know. I don't know how to do polls though, Carolyn, if that's what you're asking. I do not know how to do polls.
That was weird.
Ryan Bowen did not make me quit in the one round that I decided I didn't want to fight from a bad position and just gas my arm out. I elbow fouled out of the match. But if you watch the 5th round, which is the only one that mattered because we were 2-2 going into the 5th, if you watch that match again, I did not quit. I turned my body completely sideways and put myself into a total break arm position, absolutely willing to let my arm explode. And I thought my arm was going to break to the point where I had to look away completely because I didn't want to watch it go. And I just held my body and pushed forward, thinking that it's either going to break or I'm going to be able to hang on to him. One of the two. I did not even think that him pinning me from there was even an option. But
that's what you do.
I definitely did not quit against Ryan Bowen. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about that. So I think that's all caught up on super chats. Sorry if I missed any of the normal chats, but we got a new guest in here. My man Tiny. What's going on, Jason? Anybody that doesn't know Tiny, this is the guy that runs the Table Monkey down in Toronto. Great club, great group of guys to train with. Super like chill guys that aren't just there looking to beat the shit out of you either. They will actually work really well with you if you're like working towards a match. Awesome guys to train with. But check out their YouTube channel. Alan, you're like the only moderator I have in my live chats, so I don't know how to get somebody to link their shit if Alan's in here. But yeah, check out the Table Monkeys YouTube. It's awesome.
I'll try to put it in there if I can.
Well, if you just like type into the chat, Jason, I can make you a moderator so you can link your shit. And then you could link Alan's if you can do it, because I don't know how to do that shit.
Well, I'm not going to say that I do yet, so let's not commit to that.
I know how. It's very easy to do. It's just I have a slow ass computer, and it'll be up there eventually.
Makes sense. I just remember to mute the YouTube when I turn it on. I always forget to do that.
Jason,
you got a good little team going on there, eh, Jason? You got a bunch of good guys there.
Yeah, man, it's growing pretty good. I mean, Toronto's such a big city that now that we've been able to, pull together some people for a couple of years, we got some freaks. Alexander obviously stands out as one of them, and then we got these Babbitt's brothers, and Paul Babbitt's is like the same dimensions as Devin almost. So yeah, we've got some pretty crazy kids.
And how old is Paul?
Paul's like 21, I think. Yeah, he's 21. His brother's 20 or 19 still. I'm not sure. They're
What's his brother's name?
Close. John. He's a little bit smaller. He's like a 210 pound guy.
I don't think I've met John.
He was
I've kept up with Paul a little bit, like on the practice tables and shit. But he's still small, right? Like he hasn't filled out yet.
No, he hasn't filled out that much yet. He's got a lot to grow, but his hand is like the same dimensions.
Yeah, huge hand, tall and skinny. If that dude keeps with it, he will be impressive in 4 or 5 years. He'll be like something awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And then Alexander's he's still just 16. It's crazy.
Is that Georgian kid?
Yeah, man. And
how do you say his last name?
I don't even know if I'm going to say it right. I think it's Kajdes, but I might be wrong with that. But
he's only 16.
Yeah, the Georgian kid. He's
16
super fast, giant hand for a little dude.
He's getting so good at like maneuvering and stuff. Like we were practicing just the other day, and like he's getting so good with understanding where and how to use his hand now.
That's awesome.
He's going to become, he's going to be, he doesn't even play any other sports. Like all he does is arm wrestling. So he was at Fortis gym, and the gym owner was like, you don't do any other sports? And me and Alex were like, don't tell him about other sports. Like this is the only sport that exists. He's like too much of a freak. If he gets into anything else, he'll be a natural. So,
well, yeah, we had that kid in Montreal like that, Olivier.
Oh,
were you around when he was still pulling? Or did you start after Olivier was like kind of done arm wrestling?
Oh,
I've heard of Olivier.
OLR? No? Well, that kid was just
okay. Yeah, I've
kid
heard
was
that.
just a complete fucking freak, but he got into MMA instead, and like he at 176 pounds smoked bulls and left-handed.
Wow.
Yeah. Now Tyler wasn't what he is now. This is a few years ago. But Tyler was still like the best 187 guy around, lefty. And like Olivier just put it to him, just smashed right through.
Yeah.
So it'd be really something if this Alex kid stays with it. Now, how big was his grandpa? Because I heard he was like a monster.
Yeah, I think his grandfather was like 7 feet tall or something. So he's got crazy genetics.
Just a giant 7-foot fucking Georgian.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And yeah, I mean he's I don't know. We'll see what his limit is, but he's committed to arm wrestling. He loves it. So
It's good.
Awesome.
And there's so many amazing guys coming up right now. Like there's everybody's coming out of the woodwork. It's wicked.
Yeah,
to see the sport grow as much as it is.
Yeah.
I've been dreaming about it for many years.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and there's other productions now going on and stuff, so it's wicked. You can feel the wave, like you can feel that it's picking up energy and steam in a different way.
Absolutely. So I'm sorry, I can't do anything. I can't remember my damn password to go into YouTube because I do everything on my phone. My other computer has got it in there. So basically, you just got to copy and paste.
Yeah.
I can't
moderate.
If
Jason types into the chat at all, if he can do it while in here, I can. I think I can figure out how to make somebody a mod while on here. If not, I don't know. But what else you guys got going on there? Like the Table Monkeys always got something on the go.
What do you mean, like events and stuff?
Yeah,
like
like what's
that,
your next event that you guys are going to be hosting?
I don't know. I've been like the last one that we did really got kiboshed with the lockdown, and it's kind of not the first one, I don't think, but I haven't really had to like cancel because the way I do it underground and stuff. And the last one I actually had to like not actually do it. So I'm just waiting till things are a little bit more defined so that I mean, now that things are open, I'm going to start talking to the bars and we'll see what happens with this trucker thing. I think they're going to have some success. So
well, I mean, if the truckers get accomplished what they want to accomplish, it's going to open everything for everybody.
Exactly.
Whether they do or not, things are opening up now anyways. Like Saskatchewan's going to be opening up now too.
Yeah, I agree. Exactly. So once I know for sure, once I see a little bit more of that, I'm going to start planning some stuff, but there's a couple things in the go. And I threw so many events during COVID. Now that it's opening up, I'd love to just focus on pulling in a few. And I'd like to the next thing I'd like to do is that team thing we talked about, the kind of round robin style team event. So I'd like to just try to do something big. I have no idea when I would do that, but that would probably be the next thing. I came up with this scoring system as well for like matches that I was talking to Devin about that he liked. So
scoring system for matches, not just win and loss.
Yeah, not just win loss. Like you actually get like points based on the fouls. So like if you just win and then there's nobody incurs a foul, it's 3 points. But if you win the match but you incurred 1 foul, it's 2 points. If you win the match and they incur 1 foul, it's 4 points. And if they incur 2 fouls, like if they foul out or if you basically hold them and make them quit, then you get 5 points.
So them fouling out twice gives you more points than just flashing them.
Yeah. Flashing him would be like 3 points unless he fouls when you flash him, like he goes on a runner as you're flashing him and then gets pinned, then you get 4.
Weird that like a Kings mover would come up with a system that encourages more points for the other guy quitting.
Yeah, well, it's more of yes.
So basically you just set this up so you get points by laying down there.
No, I didn't even think of the Kings move. I was thinking more of like the way Devin would make people quit and stuff like that. Or if you have somebody who's being an egregious fouler, like in the match with Devin and Don Underwood in Arm Wars, that goes 3-3. If you score it this way, it's actually 13-7 for Devin because Don Underwood's just fouling like a fucking jackass with his elbow everywhere. So his wins are only worth 2 points and Devin's wins are all worth 5 because they're all Don just fouling out like an idiot. So, but then if you take another, I haven't done all the matches, but if you take a match like with him and Tim, where ends up being able to hold Tim and make Tim quit all the time, he destroys him like 20-something to 4 because.
Now, which time was that pulling Tim? Was that the Arm Wars one or the one in Toronto?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly. Like I just started going through old matches and scoring them and see how it played out, but more for like a team setting where it would be interesting, where the way you decide to beat the next guy would have might have more of a play in the score, the outcome of the game, so to speak. So
So why don't you get more points for smashing somebody? Isn't that like a total domination kind of thing?
I don't know. It becomes a little bit more subjective, which I don't think would work. I think that would be. But if it's based on the fouls, then yeah, if you can flash the guy, great. Beat him, get your 3 points, which is like a solid like I don't know if you ever played football, but the question used to be like, would you rather have like Barry Sanders on your team or somebody who will always get 3 yards no matter what? Like no matter what happens, always get 3 yards, or you could like Barry Sanders used to finish games with negative yards, but he also had, the most yards in the game, most of all the bullshit, like he was the best running back, all that, right? So
Yeah.
it just adds to the strategy of it. Like, yes, you could flash the guy, but isn't it more dominant to get position, hold him, make him quit? If that position is a King's move, well, I know people don't like that, but that's not what I was thinking when I came up with it, although that does make sense.
So from my perspective though, so say I go to this tournament and I kick everybody's ass, and maybe someone gets a win on me in the finals or something like that, but I still end up winning, but I smash everybody. Say on top of that, I have to lift my elbow a couple of times because I've done that a couple of times. If somebody
Right.
that
Well, I think that's the
somebody
point
I
of
could
this,
come
is
up
it
behind
penalizes
somebody
you for that.
yeah, exactly. But I could win the tournament, like be the winner, and still have less points than say number 2.
Okay, so if you were to use this point system in a tournament, I don't think you would do like a double elimination style. Like you would probably do like all the names in a hat, and everybody's going to pull 5 matches, and we're just going to pick what the 5 matches are going to be, and then whoever has like the top 4 points, the top 4 guys on points are going to go into the finals, the top 4, and then we'll do a 4-man double elimination as the finals. Like that, if I was going to run a tournament,
I like it better for the team versus team thing to do the points.
More for a team versus team thing where it's like, so the team versus team event that Evan and I were talking about was do a round robin with 3 weight classes and both arms. So there's 6 round robins between 8 teams. So it's like a huge tournament of matches. And then each team can present whoever they want for those. Like, it doesn't have to be the same guy left and right. It can be a different guy left, different guy right, but you're just filling those 6 classes out.
Yep.
Right. And then if you do that,
well, that's great for that single event, but like that team league thing that we were talking about,
it would work great for that too. Yeah,
that would be amazing. So you can follow stats on each individual puller, and see who's got the most points on your team at the end of the year and stuff like that. I think that would be that'd be pretty sweet.
It just
also
be a different
Carolyn
way
Moon's with a super chat here, Jason. She wants to know, said, Jason, how's the kid with the arm doing?
Oh, he said he's doing real good. Actually, he just messaged me the other day, Richard. Yeah, and he's coming to pick up his bike this weekend. So
is that like a clean break, or is there surgery, or what?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was super clean, and I didn't see the X-ray of his actual break, but let's put it this way: they booked the surgery for Monday, and it happened on Saturday, and it was a break. So that means it was like clean enough, and no bleeding, no like shit.
Well,
like
if it's a super clean break, you don't even need a surgery. Your arm goes into a sling for a few weeks.
Yeah, so obviously it wasn't that clean. They did.
Was there like plates and screws and shit?
Yeah, it's plates and screws, but it's like the like right at the bottom, like just an inch or 2 above the elbow, like textbook break. So
spiral
surgery looks spiral fracture, everything. I just know that when I got my bicep done, I asked my surgeon about that, and I said, like, he said the bicep tear is a better injury to get because the surgery is much more generic. Like it's very like you plan it out, you do the MRI, you have a day, it's scheduled. With the arm break, it's usually like if it needs a surgery, it's like we need to do it right now, and then you kind of don't know what you're getting. So like Dustin, for example, his left arm happened at a tournament at nationals, I think, like in a big city. So that surgery got done really nicely. The scar is really good. It healed really good. His right arm happened at like 3 a.m. at a house party in bumfuck nowhere and got done by some fucking buddy that was not a super pro. So his scar is all crooked and his right arm doesn't work exactly the same and everything. So that was my surgeon's point about that surgery. So the fact that Richard had his surgery booked for 2 days after the break actually happened, I think that attests to the fact that it was a clean, like pretty safe break for him. Because as soon as it happened, he brought his arm back and like it wasn't like hanging or in a weird position or anything like that. They weren't strapped together or anything, so it wasn't getting like pulled on. he just brought it right back, went like completely white, and was like, oh fuck, and kind of had this look on his face like, shit, did I just really do that? And then I had my sling in the bag, so we eventually put it in the sling, so it basically stayed in like that sling position from the moment it happened, which was probably a good thing. So
Yeah, arm breaks suck, but I would have thought that
Never
a torn
heard one
tendon
before,
is far worse. So I tore my bicep tendon against Mike Gould. I'm gonna say 2015.
Yeah.
But it was like 4 years of pain.
Yeah, but
and when I got the MRI and shit done, it wasn't a complete rupture. It was just like torn. So I only had like partial bicep tendon holding that together. And they basically told me like, well, do whatever the fuck you're doing, but there's no point in us opening your arm up for this. Like, blow it right off and we'll fix it. Or
you need to be
it'll
complete.
heal.
How much longer after did you get the MRI? Was it like months later and they checked it and they were like, oh yeah, it is still attached a bit?
Yeah.
It wasn't like right after it happened?
No, it was months.
Oh, okay. Because in that situation, then that means that there's like scar tissue and everything is already developed around the tendon. So that's why they're not going to go in there. If you got the x-ray and it was still attached by like a couple hairs, they would probably go in and like snip that last little bit off and then reattach it. Because even when he went in on mine, my bicep was retracted like 9 centimeters, but he said there was still a little hairline piece of tendon like attached that he had to snip off, which made it so it didn't coil all the way back up here, which is why he was able to do such a clean scar and everything, and it was like kind of easy to pull it out, I guess. So,
well,
but yeah, if
retrospect,
it doesn't fully tear and you have to let it heal, that is definitely the worst, unless you're willing to go like serious PED route and like, you know, pin the shit out of it.
Yeah, well, I didn't even know that that's what it was. Like, I kept arm wrestling that day with it, not knowing that it tore. And
that might be the alcohol, Evan.
Well, maybe. I mean, I just love arm wrestling, right? Like,
well, I
wasn't even supposed to be pulling that tournament, but I saw when Mike signed up, I'm like, well, I want to pull Mike again. I've been chasing that guy. Like, I want to get my win on him. I know I'm going to get one at some point if I get enough shots at it. So I just signed up anyways. And I probably shouldn't have. I should have sat that one out. But, you know, hindsight's 2020, right? But if I would have known that it was torn, I wouldn't have kept arm wrestling that day. I wouldn't have been training all night and going to the after pulls and stuff. I would have went home and tried to get it taken care of. But it didn't even start really bothering me until like 3 days later.
Yeah, so it was
could be because all the pain associated with this sport too, right? We're so used to having sore arms all the time that you don't know what's really important and what's not really until it's really bad. Then I guess
right. And it didn't get really bad for a long time. Like it was like 3 days later that I tried to flip a 2x4 over at work and I'm like, I can't turn a 2x4. What the fuck? Like there's something wrong here. That hurts way too much. And whenever I finally did get it checked out, the doctor told me, he's like, well, at this point, just keep using it. If you blow it right off, then we could do something with it. So I had to keep competing with it. I held the belts for arm melter at that point. So I defended my title for like 3 years with I had no ability to like set hook at all. There was just no way I could do that. It just hurt too much. It was all outside and straps was the only thing I could do.
Well, I don't know. But I always find this sport like that. I'm always worried. I'm like, oh, is this something serious? Is it not? Like, there's always pain, and you're like, oh, should I just work through it? Should I like go get it checked out? Usually the answer is just keep working. But for me, anyways, I've not had any major injuries though. Well,
I think it is hard to tell when it's like what you said, because you incur so much little aches and pains, especially even when you are like resting for a match. Like you're in your deload and you're like, you know, 2 weeks into resting, and you wake up and your wrist has this like pain that you haven't felt the whole time. You're like, where's this little, and you get all these little ghost pains that come out of nowhere. Like, but that's
every time though.
Yeah, exactly. So you gotta know when to like, okay, that's normal. And it's kind of like, it's easy to do that so much that one that's not normal comes by and you go, yeah, that's normal. You know, it's like, I don't know if you saw Larry Wheels when he tore his quad the last time it was bad. And so he had like a tiny little tear, or like he thought it was just scar tissue tearing that happened like a week or 10 days before the actual like big tear. And it was in his quad. And he was like, just like from B12 injections and stuff, just jokingly. And he thought it was just a scar tissue issue. And then the next week he was like, I think I feel good enough. And as he's warming up, he's like, no, I think that's okay. And it's the same thing where he's like seeing these like, yeah, that's one that's okay. That's one that's okay. And then the quad just gave out on him, because it's so hard to tell when you're pushing it,
Yeah.
which one.
And you make excuses too, right? You're like, oh no, that'll be okay. It'll be okay because you're used to it, or you've been there before, and then until it's too late, basically.
Yeah,
or you
I
feel
actually
like
find it really weird currently, because this is the first time I ever went into my rest phase without a lot of pain.
I don't know how that's possible.
I don't know, man. I wake up in the morning like I don't have ghost pains, not my right, and this is the first time I've went into a rest phase still strong. Normally I'm beat down completely.
I don't get it, because especially that was it your last night, or was it a night or two before, the time you were smashing Devin over and over again? You were already tired.
My right arm was already in rest that day. So like Devin and I gripped up, but that was it. Like we didn't actually pull right-handed at all.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But my last right-handed one was like 3 days before that, or 2 days before that, with like Mike Gould and Ian Carnegie down.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And we really put a beating on it that night. But
speaking of that,
it doesn't straighten.
What's that's pretty good.
Doesn't hurt though.
Well,
what's the diet been like? You said like it's been a little different, right? Like were you saying Mizell or whatever was helping you with it? And
for what?
For your
my diet?
Like,
well,
yeah, have you been eating anything differently? Because just like maybe there's like, are you less carbs or anything like that recently? Or
we started onto a diet, but it was like total mass building. But then I ended up getting like pretty sick twice. So my diet ended up getting like just shit out the window, and it became just eat as much as you can, as often as you can, and weight just would not go on. Like even when I was sick though, I was still eating. I just couldn't gain weight. It just wouldn't happen. But in the last I'm gonna say 2 weeks, I put on almost 20 pounds.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So weight just decided we're going to go up. Okay. So I was stuck at like 250, and now I'm pretty close to 270.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. Schoolboy's in trouble. I'm telling you. I think they're over there. They're taking you too lightly.
Well, here's the thing.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they do, for sure.
I hope they do.
Schoolboy's good, right? But even when he was competing in the stateside, you've never seen him against like those top ranked guys and winning, right? Anytime he's ever pulled them, he's lost, even in smaller weight classes. So how good is he, right? Yeah, we've seen training videos where he was making Devin work really hard. Okay, well, we've seen training videos where I'm smashing fucking Devin. Like, you can't just use training videos.
Yeah, training videos is,
I just don't see where it is that anybody thinks he's that good. Yes, he is good. And yes, he's really young and he's just going to keep getting fucking better. But I can't figure it out why everybody thinks he's that much better than me. Unless it's just because they don't know what I actually do. They just see one side of me whenever I'm just loud, drunk, being fucking dumbass, having fun. They don't understand how hard I actually train, or how calculated my training actually is for it. I think
that side of it for sure.
I find a lot of the people on YouTube when they're talking, that they look at these practice videos that we put up and stuff like that, and the things that are happening, they take it way too seriously, or they just don't understand like what's actually going on here. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, he beat him. He sucks now. And you're like, no, man. Like, he was torn up.
They love the drama. If it's just that they love the drama, so that was anytime they see something that they can like poke at, that's what they do. You know.
True.
It's probably a mixture of the two, you know. It's like some people that are doing that, and then some people that, like you said, they just don't really understand. So they're like, "Wait, I don't get it. This guy just beat that guy, and that guy beat that. That doesn't make any sense. Who's stronger? What's going on?" You know. So
none of that all adds up, and you really have to know what where an individual puller's at for that actual competition. Like I am notorious for showing up and arm wrestling, not giving a fuck about what my results are going to be today. I don't give a shit. Like we've arm wrestled at a practice before, and we've arm wrestled in competition before, and it's not the same fucking thing.
No, not at all. And I think Alan's talking more about people that judge practice pulling, not competition pulling. And I think as a competition puller, once you get to a certain level, you have to sort of censor yourself on where and when you pull, so that you don't make an ass of yourself in an actual competition, because people are.
He doesn't care.
Yeah, but I don't do that.
I know Evan doesn't care,
like,
and I don't do that for him. Like in fight, I'm not saying that for Evan necessarily, and that's and at some point he will, and he doesn't pull anytime, but you do love to pull, so you're gonna pull like tournaments maybe that you shouldn't at sometimes, but
yeah, I just sign up like that time, like we were talking about when I hurt myself with Mike. I was at practice for 2 hours the night before, right? Like I was going down just to coach Brendan in his very first super match. And then, you know, you see all the arm wrestling happening. There's tables there, but I can't get on them unless I enter the tournament. And Mike enters, like, oh, fuck it. I want to arm wrestle. Might as well go arm wrestle.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I'm not saying that that's a bad call to do or anything. I'm just making the point that, I don't think you hold it against people if they were to judge you, like when you lost at the round robin tournament in Dunville, you don't feel like, you go, oh, fuck about it. But at the same time, when you lost, you didn't like harp about it. You weren't like, oh, but this, but that. You didn't make excuses. You just took it on your chin as a loss, and that's fine.
What are you gonna do? Like, I put my elbow on the pad. People say I lost. I did lose. Like, the guys fucking beat me.
But only you know where you're at that moment too, right? Like, you know whether you say your excuses that actually or not.
Understands what's going on, gets it, and it's not that big of a deal.
But this sport,
whenever we held that Valley tournament where Dustin got the win on me, right?
Yeah.
He beat me convincingly, but because I just beat Brian, everybody assumes that I was ready to go. Well, I was definitely not ready to go. Like, I was at practice 3 nights before that. I didn't have a big rest. I wasn't training for this event. I had no intention of pulling this event until we get there, and like, oh, I can pull left-handed? Might as well. Why not? Right?
Yeah,
so I beat Brian, but that's not because I was ready to go. It's because I know how to pull Brian very specifically. That Brian's really going to have a hard time ever beating my left hand, no matter how fucking strong he is, unless he learns how to close those gaps. Dustin, I don't have that. Dustin's a much more complete arm wrestler. He may not be as strong as Brian, but he doesn't have this big glaring hole that I know how to just like attack. Right.
Well, he kind of does, because you did the second time you pulled him. Like, you knew exactly what to do against him the second time. It wasn't just that you came in maybe a little bit more prepared. It was that you knew where to pull him. You tried to pull him somewhere different at Pembroke. You tried to pull up high with him. And
I pulled him up high in straps as well.
Not as much though. You still turned him in where he doesn't want to be. Like, you didn't go over his hand and try to take him that way. You still turned his hand in and it was more of a high hook, which is not where he wants to be, which is meaning that you took the data you needed from the loss, and you knew exactly what to do with him the second time.
We're going to come right back to that.
I'm not saying that he wouldn't be able to make more of it than Brian would or any of that, but
first we're going to welcome Devin Lehrer to the chat. Hey, Devin,
Devin Lehrer.
Did you know that Alan Ford was on Wipeout?
That's the only way I know Alan. Yeah. I saw Alan Ford on Wipeout, and I was like, wow, that guy's a pretty cool dude. And then I remembered, oh, is that me? God damn it. Somebody's calling me.
Why? Why would somebody call you right now? It's way too late. What's Auden saying?
Just a second.
Now,
Can you still hear us?
when I invited you to this
Yeah.
chat, I didn't know you were going to have Auden with you.
I know. That's
Because,
why I was a little bit worried. We only have 5 minutes because we're just about to pick up Habry. Auden just got done Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and we're just waiting. I'm a taxi
Nice.
service.
this
Yeah.
is
You and
like extremely irresponsible parenting to bring a child onto this show.
Well,
Hey, how's his
Auden,
license?
you
What
and my
happened there?
son should get together and spar. He's
Yeah,
been
yeah,
training for a while. Yeah.
I was
What happened
thinking
with the license?
I was just we Auden and I decided we were gonna go and get our IQ tests done. So
Really?
we wanted to get some advice from you.
From Alan.
Not for me.
No, from you, Evan.
Why would you ask me?
Well, didn't I hear you say you've taken like 500 IQ tests or something?
Not 500, but I mean, I did get shipped to a special school where I had to do puzzles and IQ tests like weekly for a few years.
We had a special school where I was growing up, but
Probably like very similar. Yeah. Except just the IQ scores were a little different. I mean,
But
I'm
you
no
take the
short
150.
bus
I'm no
there?
Ryan Bowen, so don't get that twisted.
we just want to learn how to be smarter.
Dude, IQ tests are the most ridiculous thing in the world. It's all about what you can figure out with the information they give you. There's some stupid fucking questions, and it's got nothing to do with what you've learned. It's what your ability to sort out is. Anyways,
You
I
understand?
want to know how Auden's test went.
Oh, it went so bad.
You
Oh,
don't,
it
need,
was awful.
you don't need to know about it.
So bad?
That's why we want to do the IQ tests.
Is that why you're driving?
You gonna get him checked out, are you?
It was a terrible day up here. Terrible.
You got to
day.
blame Redbird for him then.
That
There was
sucks.
there was an injustice that happened.
Can we just agree to blame Redbird on this one?
Yeah, he totally screwed up Auden beforehand.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Totally Johnny's fault.
John Milne School of learning how to drive real good.
Hey, Jason, did anything get finalized for Toronto? Did anything happen?
What do you mean?
Was there last time? Were we talking about there was a seminar or something coming up? You were gonna get somebody to come up or something?
I'm working on it. Why, did you hear something I haven't yet? Or are you
No,
not really remembering what we were talking about?
no, I don't really know. I'm not talking about the Larry thing. I'm talking
Okay.
about, remember like a long time ago, you were saying you were gonna have somebody come up and cross the border and they were gonna
Hutchin?
pull Porky. Yeah, is that gonna happen?
I guess I could work on that again. I was waiting for things to open up a bit. I mean, they are a little bit more open. Why should I?
No,
What do
I'm
you-
just curious. I'm just curious. Yeah.
Yeah, the plan was that I was just pushing it back, and I wasn't going to try to make it happen again. Now that Pork Chop's got that match with Brendan and May, and I wasn't exactly sure what Hutchin's schedule is, but he's definitely hot right now. So the double team match would look pretty good.
Well, I think Hutchin's schedule is like pretty busy right now, isn't it?
I heard somebody. I don't remember who it was. I heard
He's
somebody
got the
say
chance
that
match, and then there was another one, I think.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, he's got the East versus West one as well. That's coming up real soon, and then he's got chance. Did he not have another match coming up as well?
Not until October.
hey
At the
guys,
tournament I'm going.
I got something actually fairly interesting since this is an arm wrestling chat. Arm wrestling injuries and arm wrestling surgeries.
We were just talking about that.
You guys know about Auden, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to say what happened?
You can say it.
Okay, so Auden busted his arm. It was about a year ago now.
Yeah. Yeah, but
So 1 year ago, he broke his arm wrestling, his right arm. It was one of the breaks where the insertion point of like all the muscles in your forearm on the ulnar side. Did you have this, Alan, where they ripped off a chunk?
No, mine was just calcium deposits.
An avulsion fracture.
Like
Right.
you.
Same one that Brzezinski had, correct?
Exactly. Same injury that Brzezinski had. Actually, around the same time that Brzezinski had it, right? Because Auden just turned 17. Anyways, so that was about a year ago. Right away, pretty much, we got the pin put in it, right?
within a week or so.
Yeah. So we got a pin put in it right away to hold it in place. And then what was
Are
like
you gonna
3
say he
months?
developed superpowers or something?
I think so.
Shit. I bet
I
So
you.
think
should we
so.
just go ahead and call him the GOAT from now on?
Yeah. So like we arm wrestle, I don't know, kind of whenever kind of thing. And I'd say probably about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
About 2 weeks ago, noticeably his right is now stronger than his left.
Nice.
So
Superpowers.
there's another success story for arm wrestling surgeries.
Yeah.
I think broken arms are like the
Are,
golden injury.
Aiden,
though.
is he left to right like naturally or?
I was naturally right, and then I broke my arm, and then I became more left, and I thought my left was going to just stay better, and then my right caught back up, I guess. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, sure. That's awesome. About a
Yeah.
year, eh?
Mm-hmm.
About a year.
Bit over
I
that,
feel
though.
no, it was in the summer, right?
It was in the summer. It was very end of summer when I broke it.
End of summer.
But then I got the second surgery, like
The
around
second
now.
surgery, right?
Like a
Okay,
year ago.
right. Yeah. So the screw came out about a year ago.
Cool.
Well, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So are you going to be like heading to consistent practices now, or
Hopefully, yeah.
Well, the
you're
problem
just still like
is
choking
most
people
of the
better?
Literally the
places-
2.0,
most-
the-
Most of the
2.0.
places around here that are good practice places are not good for kids.
Yeah, he's not really a kid, and I mean, his dad's not really a great influence in the beginning. So, I mean, how
Yeah.
much worse is the Valley?
Devin, make sure you bring him next time he comes to Toronto. We can keep it relatively clean.
There you go. Yeah, that's a good club. The
Devin's
Toronto's a
looking.
good,
My son's looking for
wholesome
someone to
club.
train with too.
For the most
So,
part.
Anytime you're around, you
Right.
come pull
And
Devin.
Alan, do you bring your kid into that place?
I have a couple times by mistake, and there was one time where I took him on a car ride with Evan. That was probably not. Oh, that was to your the big match
To
thing
their
we had
practice,
in Ottawa.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god, big mistake.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, the
he-
practice wasn't bad. It was the ride home. Alan wouldn't stop and feed me so I could sleep on the way home.
Oh yeah.
So instead of me not, I could have just slept the whole ride home. Instead, I just kept drinking. And yeah, I'm not going to repeat the things that I was teaching him, but
Devin learned some stuff that night.
it was life lessons. Life lessons.
We're probably gonna go to Kingston.
Why not just come to the Valley, man?
I can't, man. I go there, and that's bad enough. I come home, and Jody makes me take off all my clothes before I even come into the house after I come and visit you guys.
I know you're not even allowed wearing the green here because like you have to burn it when you get back.
I know.
Listen.
Like, what do I do? What do I
If
do?
you're being
Between the
serious,
crabs and the smoke and everything else, and then
I'm
like
gonna get so
you're gonna
mad
get your
when I come
channel
back
just
to Valley
taken
practice.
down.
When I come
Devin,
back
if you're-
to Valley practice, she's like, "Get those clothes off," and I like to wear the same clothes for like about a week at a time. So, totally throws me off.
if you're being serious, next time we have a practice, you can come to my place. I'll have it at my place.
We can
Well, no,
schedule
whatever.
some
I don't mind.
practices that are like family friendly, but we
Yeah.
need to know in advance.
Exactly.
Oh, come on, that's
So
impossible.
like I don't show up.
Exactly. I don't know what that would look like. I couldn't imagine a Valley practice that was family friendly. I feel like nothing would happen.
Well, we
We've
just
got
do
a
it during the
couple of-
day, and well, most of the time, just kids show up.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the parents like hang out in the garage, and we put the tables out in the lawn for like sober people and kids.
Yeah, we're eager to have the tournament scene kick up again. I think a lot of people are.
I
Absolutely.
think we're going to be running a few tournaments this year if we're able to, and
Up
I
at the
think our
clubhouse?
venue is pretty sweet,
Oh yeah.
but not kid friendly.
That's the only
Yeah.
problem.
I think the future of our tournaments is going to become much more less kid friendly.
Well, it's fine. That's good. It's just there's probably if somebody had a kid friendly tournament right now, they'd probably have a big turnout. Big turnout.
Yeah, with the way the sport is exploding, I'm sure there's lots of kids that are interested in it. You or
Yeah.
Eric should put one on in Ottawa at some point,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
the
we
old
will.
days.
Yep. Yeah. Gotta happen. Gotta happen.
We got to
Because my
start
son needs to
convincing
pull
the
too.
schools to start having some type of that's where we're really going to get growth in the sport, especially like when you get kids going through puberty, through all those developmental years with their bodies specifically looking to strengthen those spots that are getting worked on, that's where you
Yep.
get like serious adult competitors.
We've been talking about that for like 10, 15 years.
Well, nobody's doing nothing.
I know. It's
Like, you
hard.
can't expect me to be the guy that's going to fucking do something about that. You think they're going to let, I'm not allowed anywhere near high school.
No.
That's not true. I'm actually allowed near high schools. I was a high school wrestling coach, but it's still
That's true.
it's way too hard with the dangers involved with arm wrestling. Like, how can you let your kids play football, but arm wrestling is too bad? You have a bad day arm wrestling, you need to learn how to wipe with your other hand for a few weeks.
That's a
You have a
perfect
bad day
example.
playing football, you might not remember your name for the rest of your life. Like, this is not the same thing. How is arm wrestling too dangerous?
And you always
It's
come
just
back stronger.
part of wrestling.
Right, Brian?
Exactly. You break your arm, you come back stronger, or superpowers, or whatever.
Way
Yeah.
stronger.
But it,
I can't believe no one has any questions while Devin's on.
Well,
Yeah.
we did, but I just didn't get a chance to ask them. Somebody wanted me to ask or explain what it's like when you grip Devin. What makes it hard to beat? Is it pure strength or just stopping points? Go check out other videos on my channel. It's really not that hard to beat Devin. You just smash the
Hey,
guy.
you're telling people. I heard you're telling people all sorts of lies, Evan.
Well, that's what you tell people, but dude, I am way too drunk all the time to remember any type of lying system. So I just tell the truth because I have to, because I'll never remember it. The next
Hey,
one was a super chat. Evan's gonna crush schoolgirl. Devin, are you building back up yet, or are you still resting? I'm
Just
gonna say
started.
he is not building up yet.
Avery, say hi to the.
Hey,
say hi to
Avery.
everybody.
What's up, Avery?
So much.
I don't think
Guys.
Devin's building back up yet because he's
I am
still not
building
very
back
strong.
up. I started yesterday. I decided. Starts yesterday. Yeah, I'm building back.
Nice.
On the road to 800 pounds. I'm gonna be 800 pounds. Tell everybody.
Was that because John
I'll
started
fix your
arm wrestling again?
29-inch biceps.
800 pounds by the time I pull Levon
100.
with a 50-inch diameter head. 50 inches.
A 50-inch
Oh my
skull.
gosh.
I could get
50-inch
awful
skull.
drunk drinking out of that.
He's not gonna have a chance.
Devin,
All right, guys. It's time for me to resume my full-time job as a taxi driver.
All right, later, buddy.
Later,
Take
guys.
care.
ciao.
Hey, while we're on the topic here, people need to hit that
Yes.
like button.
Why?
Smash the like button because it helps with the algorithm rhythms.
Well, I mean, if you care about that shit,
And
I
where's
don't.
how come nobody's got any super chat stuff like going on? We got 184 people watching. That's awesome.
Holy shit, 184 people?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it really spiked when Devin came on. Just kidding.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Well, I mean, nobody announced that Devin was on, so like,
He's just
whatever.
a normal guy. Like,
I know, but that's just how much of an anomaly he is. That's what happens.
He just shows up and it happens.
Yeah.
Either way, so back to this Dustin thing. I didn't learn anything off of him in the match losing to him at our event that made me think going into this hook was going to be the right way to pull him.
Really?
No, I figured that out in the setup in round one. What I wanted to do was just fold his hand back and realize that his hand is just really fucking strong. I don't know that I couldn't do it, but it just felt like he was letting me get way too much of a bite
As
in
far as,
on
like-
him that I know I can get into a hook. And my
Oh,
left
really?
arm's not like a big hook arm. It's it can do it, but to set it is awkward for me. It's not what I normally do. So it felt like I'm going to be able to get in there, and I don't think his arm's going to be as strong as mine. So I just
there's
went there.
definitely a lot to be said.
Every time it went straps, though, it was out.
There's definitely a lot to be said in the setup. You can learn a lot about another guy in the setup, except for me. Nobody learns anything from me in the setup.
Also, for a guy that complains so much about our little event, and yeah, we didn't have chalk. You didn't even have a fucking table bolted down, you pricks.
God damn it. Yeah, I know that.
I think you took 8 years off my life by throwing me off the stage like that. It was just rude.
I was worried.
Carolyn
Feel
Looms
that.
in here with another super chat. Jason, do you think Evan can beat Bowen?
Beat Bowen? Yeah, I don't take. I mean, I know he did lose to him last time, but I would say
Not
that
another
if
time.
they were to pull again, I would put my money on Evan. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm a biased judge. I don't know.
Well, I will tell you this. I am a lot more educated on the ways of peaking for an actual event now. Like before, it was just like, yeah, just arm wrestle, whatever. I do the same shit I do all year long, and then take 2 weeks off, go pull the event.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing I really tried to do differently for that was to be sober. So like I didn't drink for like a month up to the event, and I didn't drink at the event all day. And it was like really hard to both be me and put on a show and compete. Also, those fucking bear pants that I wore all the time. Man, I overheated so bad. Like I was just walking up to the table and just like drenched in sweat. Those things are so fucking hot. So I won't ever wear those in serious competition again. If you see me showing up wearing those, I clearly don't give a fuck.
And if he's sober, he doesn't give a fuck either.
I have learned how to work
It's weird.
with my hand. So I will be far better off to deal with any type of super outside motion than I ever have before. So right-handed, anybody that wants to come at me, great. Anybody that wants to kind of play in that middle game, cool. Anybody that wants to run far out was always really tough for me. But lately, like especially getting ready for schoolboy and getting specifically ready for a real hand fight, I don't think I'm going to have that issue trying to hang on to those outside motions anymore. I'm not going to be worried about them trying to run. I'm going to be able to match them there and still do what I'm doing.
Yeah, absolutely. You've come a long way, really. I think you're much more balanced now.
Yeah.
Back on the original topic though, something I wanted to say.
In a really long time, so that's also I'm not a great judge, but I agree with Alan. I feel like it probably has come a long way, just knowing and talking to you and everything about it. So
Well, I'll tell you this: I've got these kettlebells. I don't know how much they weigh, like I don't know, 300 pounds or something, but I can grab it and rotate it with my right hand, and I can't do it with my left. So
300 pounds.
I don't know. There's a 3 in the number somewhere, but I can do it right-handed, no problem. And like I've got to do a lot of reps before I start getting that burning tired. And left-handed, I can barely do it. It's so my right hand is far better than my left currently.
that's good. When it's the 12th, right? So when do you depart? What's the
I fly out on the 9th. And 9.5 hour flight.
Difference?
But first class, so just relax.
What?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
You need
no, I had a
that.
sponsor pick that up for me.
That's awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
And who's this sponsor?
None of your goddamn business, Alan. You always fucking
It's
try
a
to get
friggin'
in there and
sponsor.
take all
You
my
gotta
shit. Fuck
advertise
you.
that stuff.
How would you just never mind? Mind your own goddamn business. What do you think about that? So I gotta pay for my own flight, right? So I got a buddy that said, hey, you know what? I'm gonna hook you up on this one because it's like a super shitty flight. You pay for your flight, and we'll kick it in through like this program that he's got running, and he'll upgrade it to first class for free. So
Nice.
like I pay for my normal flight and I just get first class. So works out pretty good.
Very good. You'll like that. You'll actually have room to stretch and curl up in a ball.
And then so you fly on the 9th, you pull on the 12th, so you've only got what's the time difference?
I'm not sure, 7 hours. But basically, I'm going to be pulling at 3 o'clock in the afternoon our time here.
So you're just
That's
gonna keep
normal. Normal for you.
that's
Right.
good, yeah.
So like my sleep pattern and everything is just like absolutely fine. I don't
Yep.
I don't think jet lag is going to be an issue like that. Schoolboy's actually got a far worse problem with that than I do because he's further from Turkey than I am.
Oh shit.
Yeah, well, he's got an extra hour worth of time zone change to deal with, and he's coming from the other side, so he's pulling at like 5 a.m.
Nice.
So
Is he coming
as
in
far
the
as
same
that
day as
goes,
you?
That's another tick in the box for.
Well, what? Yeah. That's, do you have any idea when he's traveling? Is he traveling way earlier? Or?
No, I don't really pay attention to anything he does. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Does he
I've
do
seen his
stuff?
matches. I know how he
haven't seen anything.
pulls.
True.
If he puts out any type of training video, like I'll probably watch it, but I don't care. Like, I know what he's gonna do. There's no way that he's learned how to arm wrestle any other way to a high enough degree that it's going to threaten me. He's got one option to go to, and I think I got him covered there too. If not, if I wasn't able to get enough in that area, I've still got a bunch of other areas that I can still win this match in, right? Anytime, if he ever decides that he wants to come in because I've got his hand and he can't do that, he is so fucked. Like, just so completely fucked.
Yep.
There is zero chance he's able to turn in and do anything with me.
Yeah. I wouldn't expect him to want to do that at all. So.
No, he'll probably end up trying to. Once he realizes he's in a bad situation, he'll probably try to slip and go to straps.
He's not going to have a choice.
Right. Which
Right,
is
we're already going to be there.
another good one for you
We're
too.
just always
wicked in the straps.
I don't
Why-
ever
what's
pull
the rule set?
anybody without straps.
What's
Not
the
if they're
rule
any
set?
good. What's that?
What's the rule?
WAF.
Yeah.
Which is funny because
Perfect.
Ingen actually messaged me about am I able to pull in a WAF rule set? Like, do I know the rules? Am I able to pull like that? Like what are you talking about? How is that actually a question? Well, just you being a high hooker and all that. Jesus. That's all I've ever pulled. Like, anytime we had an event, whether it was a sanctioned Ontario, Easterns, Northerns, whatever, like provincials, nationals, it's always WAF. The only thing that was a little bit different was arm melter, but even that was still heavily WAF based. It was just like we allowed little hops and pops so that we could actually get some matches happening and not foul out everything. I've definitely pulled under strict WAF rules, and I am A-okay with it. I've never fouled out of a match that I didn't mean to.
Yeah. So you expect it just to be slip apart off the go and then into the straps, obviously.
Right, but it's not going to be intentionally. If he wants to hang on to my hand, I'm going to drill him.
Yeah.
That's it. Like,
yeah.
There's no way that he's going to hang on to me when I bust up top through his hand. He's just going to let go, realize that that's not going to happen. We got to go straps. He'll let go. We'll go straps. Then I'm pretty sure I'm going to bust his hand right back.
Okay, don't give him too much because he's probably watching or he's got somebody watching.
So what? Let him watch. I don't give a shit if he knows my game plan.
I know.
I don't think there's fucking anything he can do to stop it. And now all of a sudden, okay, so he does find out that Evan said he's planning on coming straight up top, him slipping, we're going to straps, and then I'm buckling his hand. Okay, what are you going to do? Dude, we're like a week and a half out. You're going to go start training hard about that? You're going to try to make sure you protect that? Go ahead. Start training that really heavy right now. Fix that.
Yeah, right.
It's true. We were talking earlier about this sport. I wanted to say something like how it must be really hard for people that aren't in the sport to start watching videos and learning about it because there's so much going on that you don't know. Like, we were talking about the pain aspect of it. A lot of people who start arm wrestling, especially anybody who's into the gym a lot, quit very, very quickly because they're like, I can't work out in the gym. I'm not coming. They don't like it because of the pain. That's number one. Number two, you don't know what's going on in a match. It's so hard to know where the pressures are and what exactly to do and who's actually stronger than the other. All the variables of like whether they were something injured or the match beforehand and the caliber of that guy and how it affected them. It's crazy, this sport, and that's why we can have so many different podcasts or different opinions on different matches, because everybody's got an opinion and no one's really wrong. Well, I shouldn't say no one, but no one's really wrong, because it's all interpretation, right? It's an amazing sport, and you never ever stop learning. I mean, I've been doing this for 30 years almost now, and I'm still learning stuff. I still have Devin teaching me the same lessons over and over again, just to pick up little extras here and there. Not necessarily that I don't know it, but that you learn a little bit more every time.
Yeah, it's also deep, and that's why it's like when you were talking about, Evan was talking about football, and like you got kids tackling each other and stuff. You learn how to play football. Like the first thing you do for like, or at least you're supposed to do, I don't know if every team does this, but at least the team I learned on did, was, watch videos and have like chalk talk and go through how you're supposed to hit somebody so that you don't break your neck, and how to hold your head up and hit with your head up and not hit with your head down, so you don't, fucking ruin your spinal cord. And in watching football, it's so hard to pick that up, because really good football players know how to run with their head down but still hold that like safe position. So when you watch a game, you see guys like dropping their shoulders and their head, and it looks like they're dropping their head. So it's really confusing. And it's similar in arm wrestling, where like you're told, okay, don't like look away from your arm, don't go like this. But then you watch matches and you see guys like someone like Evan, for example, who's been pulling long enough that he just is like pulling like this, because his arm can take it at that point. And like you said, you as a newer puller, you can see so many things happening. You don't understand what's going on at all, which is why, as the sport evolves, explaining it and coming up with sort of like really set ways that like sort of the fundamentals are established are going to be really important for explaining it to like newer pullers and keeping everybody safe, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Us guys who've been around for many years, we need to like step up and take that responsibility, because people are gonna hurt themselves if they're just giving it. You know what I mean? Like if they're watching some of these matches against some of these high level guys, like Devin's matches and stuff like that, and they think that's how they should be arm wrestling when they first start, they're sadly mistaken, and they're gonna hurt themselves.
Well, even Richard, the guy that broke his arm when he was here with Devin, he was like, when he explained to me what happened to over text, but what happened in his head, he's like, I just went to top roll him and his hand was just way too much. And so then when I thought I didn't have anything left, I thought all I could do was commit my shoulder. And so and that's obviously exactly what he did, in a horrible position. And it was completely not the right move, because he didn't understand the exact dynamic of what he was doing. You know?
And this is kind of what I was talking about. Like, you have to put the time in. Like, you can be really strong and have a lot of potential in this sport, but you need to put the time in to train your brain to know where those spots are that you need to get to and where you don't want to go, especially as a new puller.
And with this sport, it's 100%. And it's like literally millimeters of like, okay, my wrist is good, my wrist is not good. My wrist is good, my wrist is not good. It's like that much of a difference between feeling like I got this and oh fuck, I'm fucked.
I'll tell you, the majority of the arm breaks I've seen, man, I've been in a good position. They really have.
Yeah,
exactly. But you don't know what's actually happening.
If you don't have that time under tension and that density built up in those bones, they will just fucking break. And
exactly.
Most people aren't going to go get a bone density test done before they start arm wrestling. It's just something you figure out on the way.
Especially nowadays, the way people are eating and stuff like that, man. Stuff like, especially like pop, is horrible for your bones. If you drink that shit for long periods of time, like for years and years on a regular basis, your bone density is
beer is better for your bones than milk is.
Well,
just so you know,
I'm just talking about pop specifically. I wouldn't drink that.
Yeah, no, but that definitely makes a difference. And that was also one of the points we made in that arm break video, was the idea that even in a great position, you can still break your arm if you're generating enough force. It's just that in this really horrible, shitty position, it takes like no force at all. And in a really, really good position, it can still happen. It just takes a lot of force to make it happen, which is why you do see like crazy arm breaks sometimes, you know?
And you don't know what's going on. So you could be under good in a good position, good resistance. And you just switch, like you can switch without actually seeing a big movement, switching from certain muscles to other muscles, and you don't have anything there or enough there, and then it's all in the bone. You just don't see it happening. It might look like they're in a good position, but
and then you've got guys like me who will just put everything across their skeletal structure because I don't think it's going to break. I've fucking tried to break it. Literally have
you've been
tried to see if it will go. And it just
you've been arm wrestling like an idiot for a lot of years, Evan. I just tell you that when you
because
first
I'm
started.
an idiot, Alan.
Well, and you know what?
But either way, whenever we got new guys coming in and they start doing it and they're like telling me, yeah, I've watched all your videos and you know, I want to don't ever watch me arm wrestle thinking this is a good way to do it. This is a good way for me to do it because I'm comfortable there and I am quite confident I'm going to be okay. Mind you, I have acquired a lot of injuries over the years, just never a break. I've just never had my shit break apart. I am quite sure that, well, that's not true. I have had a break. My arm did break against Mike Gould in Nationals 2017. I got the x-ray done, but it was just like really painful. It didn't like blow apart or anything. It just, there was a split up the bone. And I arm wrestled again like 3.5 weeks later. And I finally beat Mike with that same arm. And then the pain was just so bad at practice afterwards. I'm like, okay, I got to go get an x-ray done. Like something's fucked up. And they're like, yeah, it looks like you broke your arm like a month ago. Well, yeah, well, okay, I had a broken arm. But it wasn't like
your bone densities, you don't feel it.
Well, it just didn't blow right apart, right? It was just like a little crack through it. And it was just pain. Like I've arm wrestled with a sore arm before, so I just kept going.
Yeah.
And then any of these amateurs, though, they need to try to get to some practice where there's guys that know what they're doing, so they can learn how to arm wrestle. Like, and it's a little bit different for each person too. You can watch the videos and say, yeah, this is how you top roll, and this is what you need to strengthen, but that might not be the best technique for you. Do you know what I mean? You might have other strengths that you can work off of at the beginning rather than starting from nothing or scratch.
Then, Alan, I don't want to cut you off. It's just that you irritate me whenever you talk, so I'm going to. And we got a super chat here.
There's a couple.
Carolyn Looms wants to know who Alan wants to see Derek Smith pull next in Dubai.
Who I want to see Derek Smith pull next in Dubai?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you know who Derek Smith is?
I do know who Derek Smith is. I mean, and I didn't know much about him until recently, really. He's why are you putting me on the spot? I'm horrible with names.
Say Corey West.
How about Hermes? Forget the Corey West match.
I want to see that match.
Yeah, it would be a good match, but I think Derek would just destroy him.
Maybe not. Dude, Hermes' hands look real good. I would like to have seen that fucking match between Derek and Trideca.
Sorry, Evan, we got all confused there. I'm saying that I don't really care about the Corey West Derek Smith match. I feel like Derek Smith will crush Corey West. I like the Hermes Derek Smith match. I don't know who's going to crush who. I would like to see it.
I'd watch it. I mean, I'd rather see him with like.
You'd rather see him go all the way to Alex Kardashian already. I'm not saying that he couldn't. I would like to see that match.
Well,
too.
no, but I wanted to see that 4-way thing happen before that got all fucked up. That was like super interesting.
Oh,
and personally, for me to watch Derek pull somebody, I want to see him pull Todzilla. That's who I want to see.
What about Matt Mask or something? First,
no, Todzilla.
Krasimir.
Why? Just because of the size difference and everything?
Not stylistically, like, yeah, okay, Todd's gonna end up here, and then what? Todd ends up here all the fucking time. So what? I want to see what happens from there. Anyways, we now got Danielle on here. I would like to hear her tell me about this upcoming match because it just tickles my fancy.
I can't believe it's finally happening. I was almost at the point where I was like, is this even going to happen? I'm going to forget about it. And then this opportunity comes up. So does anyone not know about the sandwich match with Robert Kelly at this point?
Well, let's just assume that people reading and following along here don't know. So just give it to us.
So back when Arm Wrestling Uncensored was Arm Wrestling Uncensored way back in the before times, like what, a month ago?
Yeah, before Grant posted the dick. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember who put the question out there, but maybe it was David Kotlow said, why don't more women show up at arm wrestling tournaments? And Robert got in there and said, well, probably because they don't have any kitchens there. And it was
wow, did that
hilarious.
ever take off in the comment section though?
He was just being off.
I'm pretty sure I'm exaggerating, but there was like 1,000 comments under this. It was crazy.
That's not even much of an exaggeration because it was in the multi-hundreds and I'm sure it was over 500. So like 1,000 isn't even that much. Like people got their feathers ruffled, which was beautiful. And then in the smack that got talked there were some names thrown around. I'll pull you. And then David reached out to me and was like, would you pull him? And I was like, well, of course I would. Like I didn't actually engage in the argument, but I watched it, like popcorn and like, this is freaking great. But then once I was involved in it, I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll dive head into this. Let's make this happen. And we had an idea. It would be great once we agreed that because of the nature of what started, over women cooking, that whoever would lose has to make the other a sandwich. So
Nice.
then it was real. So we've never arm wrestled each other. We've never even seen each other face to face. So
Who's bigger?
you know how you really can't judge an arm wrestler until you touch their hand. But here's the thing. I'm just going to fucking crush this guy. So
I
it was
fucking
easy.
hope so. I want to see that dude make you a sandwich. That would make a fantastic event.
Here's
So
how
are you bigger
confident
than
I
him?
am. On March 12th, I'm going to Winter Blast in Pennsylvania on the 98. And this GoFundMe that started for Robert for $500 to get him there, which succeeded today, by the way. Way to go. If anyone was watching, was a part of that. I am so confident I would pull him Friday. The tournament's Saturday. That's how confident I am that it wouldn't take any team out of me. So
What's the weight difference between the two of you?
I'm around
No?
165 to 170 right now.
That's what you are?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're like jacked as fuck. Give us some guns there.
How tall are you, Danielle?
5'8".
Yeah, you're pretty muscular.
I've got and most of it's actually on the lower half. So, but
So what's he roughly weighing though? Do you know?
I don't know for sure. So I'm probably going to get corrected by this, but I think it was maybe around 150, but I'm not sure.
I'm gonna go with a really soft 150.
Yeah, because I think, again, I've never met him. I think I might be taller too. So.
And I've never seen you pull. Like, so what kind of style are you? Are you pretty quick?
Complete shit. Her style is absolute shit. She is not a good arm wrestler. It is very apparent when you watch her arm wrestle that she is very new. I mean, like, she's jacked and she's got the sides of her head shaved, so she looks like a fucking monster. But she's
So
also
Evan's
a worse ref than
right.
she is an arm wrestler. So.
Oh, okay.
I arm wrestle. So I started. It was March 2020. So I'm actually still pretty, just actually kind of coming out of probably the novice level. But I was lucky that because I was into grip and strongman, and I still am, but those were the sports that I did. That this was strong, and this was strong, and my back, as I do deadlifts and all sorts of whatever stuff, So I had a back, I had a bicep, and I had a forearm. Yeah. But I just don't have the experience to be like skilled. Let's put it that way.
But you're learning. You're learning
every time I'm on the table.
You're starting to put stuff together though, like the movements and everything.
That's it's feeling great.
And you got the mental game going on, so that's good.
Yeah.
Like you got to believe it or it's not going to happen. So you got the belief down pat, which is awesome. That people think that that's not a thing, but it really is. Like if you believe that you can beat this guy and you've seen it, you've seen it, went over it a few times in your head there, and you know it, chances are way better.
There's no reason to me to not have a confident mindset about really anything, because let's just say I go there and I lose, right? I mean, what I would take from that is what did I do well, and then where do I need to improve? Like that's what a loss is to me. So like I'll talk tons of shit right up to it, and then but like once it happens, it's like, all right, get better.
Good. That's awesome. Good for you. I wish you all the luck.
Thanks. Luckily, hopefully I won't need it, but thank you.
Well, I mean, here's my breakdown of the match. You guys both really suck at arm wrestling, but you're bigger and stronger, right? So you got to lean towards bigger and stronger than really the only thing you can go with, because you guys both rank like a -3 as far as skill goes.
That's what I'm counting on. It really is.
Yeah. Well, I think you're going to win just
because he's got way more to lose than you do as a man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, I mean,
there's a factor there.
If you do lose, rather than having to make this fucking guy a sandwich, big deal. But that's pretty fucking embarrassing if you got to make this fucking guy a sandwich after all the shit.
It is. It would be. But at the same time, I feel like I have less to lose than he does.
You do.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. That's
make
why
you a sandwich.
Danielle, have you done any real ready goes like in comp yet? You've had some competitions, right? You said that earlier.
Yes. I've actually I've done Wisconsin and Illinois State both 2 times. I did the women's event that happened in Texas last year, late winter. I pull around at local tournaments, and I have a really, really great team, Milwaukee Mayhem, and we practice a lot. Yeah. So really the like some of my biggest weaknesses right now that I'm working on are post, just my hand, literally just working that, because there's nothing I've ever had to do in the gym. Like, Jason, because I know you lift and whatnot too. Like aside from arm wrestling, like what really trains that, So,
masturbating. And this is why you're at an immediate disadvantage.
Yeah, no, there's
Could help.
Go get yourself a 12-inch strap
Riser
on
was definitely a
and just
weakness.
play with that all day to get ready. That's how you're going to catch up.
all right. Dang it. Hacks. See all the comments I get out there that are saying I'm a man. See, if I really was, this would have already been strong. See, I have to learn this.
Just on your right hand.
Well,
But
that's the business hand.
What's the
for anybody who's
setup
been
for the-
following the Beers with Bad Company and that initial picture that's always on there, this is that bear that I'm eating right now. Fucking love jerky.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Danielle, what is it? Best of 5?
It is. Yep. And he wanted left hand, and I don't really care which hand, so it's going to be a left best of 5.
Oh, you
Should
let
do
him
both?
pick the hand too.
Oh yeah, I don't care. So,
So
it won't
not
matter.
only
Are you?
does he have a
you're more
penis,
left or-
he gets to pick which hand you're going to compete with.
Yep. It won't matter. I want him to be his best. I want to beat him at his absolute best.
Now, when you make sandwiches, do you butter the bread
want
first,
Well,
or
she's a righty and I'm not. Nope. Lefty, doesn't matter. Righty, nope.
so serious question though? When you make a sandwich, do you butter the bread first, or just like straight mayonnaise, or like?
It depends on the sandwich, but I lean mayo. But it definitely depends on the sandwich, because I mean, like if you're gonna make yourself a bologna sandwich, dude, butter is so freaking good. Right?
Oh,
Or like if you're gonna make yourself like a steak and pickled shallot and arugula and sandwich, you want some mayo going on with that thing.
you were saying a lot of words that I don't even understand. What
Tell
kind
me
of
you're
sandwich is
putting
this
your
going to be?
order
Like,
in,
are you guys
Danielle.
like working out details on what kind of sandwich this is? Because that's
We
important.
have. We've talked. I know he likes pickles and mayonnaise on his sandwiches. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that information, because
Put
I'm not
pickles
gonna
and
do that.
mayonnaise on his fucking sandwich if you got to make it. Like, what?
I just don't see why I'm gonna have to make a sandwich.
Well, what kind of sandwich
you go.
is he going to make you?
I haven't decided yet because do I actually go with the sandwich I want, or do I find something that's kind of fucking funny?
You need to figure that out.
Both are good.
ASAP.
Both are
Because
good.
you got to see him making the sandwich for you.
You're right. This is part
Yes,
of the
and he has to
visualization.
see it too. He has to see it. He's got to make sure he's got the ingredients, and he's got to go through shopping in his head, and yeah, do it.
No, the GoFundMe already covered all the sandwich making.
Expense.
Yeah.
$50
That's fine.
sandwich.
So we're just gonna. You guys gotta like agree on what kind of sandwich you're gonna make.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what sucks? After
Hmm.
you win, and he makes your
Right.
sandwich,
Right.
you're gonna have to go make yourself your own sandwich. Because he's gonna do a shitty fucking job of that too.
Probably, yeah.
Look, this is a dude that you're gonna beat arm wrestling. You can't
I'm not
expect him
gonna
to do
fall for it.
anything right. This guy is just a total fuck up in all facets of life. There's no way around it. This guy is signed up for the biggest arm wrestling match of his life.
That's it. That's gonna be at the table. What I'm gonna say to get in his head. You've peaked, bud.
This is the highlight of your life. It's getting your
Yep.
ass kicked by a girl in arm
This is
wrestling
it.
because you talk too much shit about girls.
I hope you got a lot of trash talk ready to go afterwards too when you beat him or during
Yeah.
or
During for sure.
good.
So there's the thought too, like after the first round, once I know I can completely overpower him, do I fuck around then and just make it fun? Is the thing, or just go for total
Yeah,
obliteration?
make him your bitch.
Yeah, that's kind of
If
the
that's
thought.
an option, just
Like-
hang
like-
on
like-
to him and tell him to
are
hold
you
the
gonna
pickles.
do it or should I?
Exactly.
I'll give
Make
you
him
a good
give
one
up.
here.
Even better.
Make sure when
Right.
you're holding on to him and he's struggling, let him know that it's a sandwich, not a sandwich. Because if he makes that sandwich properly, you can give him the D later.
Yeah. Yep. Motivation.
That's just like a super demasculating thing to say.
They don't call me Big D for nothing.
It'd be even better if you had hung the strap on the side of the table when you walked up. Is what you're getting later.
This is going right to I would love that too, to just say things right before I do them. So like you almost have a chance to counter, but the point is you can't. It's gonna happen. That was just, envisioning some big dick moves. So
who's gonna have this filmed? Like, is this gonna be live? What's the date on the match?
Winter Blast in Pennsylvania, 98% hosting. So that'll be in Pennsylvania, in Philly.
That's
That is on the
March.
12th. That's March 12th. So it'll either be on that day or right around it, because that's where we're meeting. That's for the event. So I'm assuming it'll probably be on the day. So March 12th is what I'm
Winter
tentatively
Blast
saying.
and it's in March?
Yeah, I really want to go to this event. Uncle John's gonna be there. Like, I got to try to figure out a way for me to get there. And
Let's
this
go.
match is actually far more entertaining for me than Uncle John. It really is.
It's gonna be great. I hope you could figure that out, Evan, because that would be awesome.
I just want to get drunk and heckle the fuck out of both of you for it, because this match is fucking
That's what we
awesome.
deserve. That's what we deserve. Please.
But you better win. Seriously, I'm gonna be super fucking. Well, I don't care. I'll be drunk as fuck and having a great time either way. But I want you to win. I don't think you will, but I want you to.
I'm gonna. So perfect. Please help me mentally become the underdog. It's fun to be the underdog because right now I feel like hasn't got a chance.
You know what you should do? You should fight him before the event. Just walk up to him and punch him right in the fucking face in the parking lot. Make sure that he knows that you're the man here and he doesn't have a say in what's going on today. Make him actually pull the match with his mouth and nose still bleeding, eyes all bloodied up. Like, just beat his
Why
fucking
can't you
ass.
pull it? I fell down the stairs.
Hey, I'm kidding. I'm not actually telling somebody to sucker punch anybody.
And I'm not gonna punch Robert.
We're all doing that.
No one's watching, right?
No.
Oh,
I'm just not allowed
Only
to say it. That's all.
175 people.
Well, all 175 of those people better agree with me that
Word doesn't
We
spread
want her
quickly
to
in arm
win.
wrestling. This is a huge sport.
50 of which
But
haven't hit that
realistically, are
like
you gonna
button
actually
yet.
win though?
Yeah, I actually think I will.
Have you watched like him arm wrestling?
Yeah,
Have you watched him arm
Um,
wrestle another girl?
yeah. He's currently undefeated against women.
Now, have you pulled any of these women that he's
Really?
beaten?
No,
No.
nope. So I don't have a
Even-
reference. I really don't have a reference. So
No idea. None of your
No,
training partners have ever like gripped up with him or nothing? No idea.
I think he's even newer to the sport or very similar to me. I think he's like in that 1 to 2
I think he's
year
far
range.
newer than you actually.
Yeah.
I think
so,
you almost got like a full year on him.
Okay. Yeah, that could be. Because yeah, it was March 2020 for me. So yeah. So
Just so you
so
know,
I'll
I'm
come on
pulling
2 years.
this right out of my ass. I have no idea. I never paid attention to anything this guy's ever done until he made the sandwich comment in the kitchen thing. So
Yep.
I just counted as that's when he started arm wrestling was that day.
Okay,
Makes sense.
obviously it was before that, but I don't think it was much before that. I think it's 1 to 2 years. That's where I'm like within that.
Yeah, well, I mean, if he'd been arm wrestling for 2 years by now, he's got to be decent. Like 2 years.
That's enough time that things start stringing up together.
Yeah, you start
I
feeling
really
comfortable leaning your hip into the table and starting to balance
His credit,
things.
it looks like he does a lot of training.
At
So
what?
he's got those
You say he's
handles,
cut?
posting videos and stuff with him. Or
Did you say he's cut?
No, I said I think he does. I think he trains a lot.
I don't think
Like,
so.
wrestling.
I think he spends more time talking shit and getting slapped around by his wife.
Well, that's for sure. But
He's
Trying to
actually
decide.
married, believe it or not.
I'm divorced.
Fucking A. Well, that's a
Who's
good place to be.
I know.
If you're a dude, your wrist would be so fucking strong right now. So, middle of March, you guys are locking up. Someone's
March
making
12th.
a fucking sandwich.
The sandwich match. Winter Blast, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia.
God, I hope you win.
Oh.
And I hope that video just lives fucking forever of him making you this sandwich.
I'm excited. It's gonna be great.
It will. It'll be epic.
I hope the first round is such butter that I can just fuck with the rest of the match to get those sweet clicks.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Have you ever actually arm wrestled a guy before?
Yeah. I usually sign up for the men's amateur, whatever I show up as weighing, just to get, because there's typically so few women at tournaments that I just prefer to get that
Yeah, you just want
experience.
to pull.
I just want to pull.
Good.
Because,
So you get
yeah,
more matches
I've,
by signing into the guys' class. And do you
I've-
win?
I've gotten second 2 times in
But
amateur.
there was only one person in the event.
There wasn't many. Well, it was more than one, but like.
So you've
those
beaten
are
guys
more the
before.
local events. I've beaten guys before. I have probably half a dozen pins on guys in a tournament.
It's pretty good.
I've got at least that. Yeah. So that's like a good starting point.
I'm not. I guess.
Actually, no, I don't. I don't think I have a half dozen pins in the men's amateur division.
So here's my thought about that too. Is
You might be better than me.
Yeah. Okay. My thought on that is, I feel like their strength might feel like the top lady pullers that I want to be, as well.
It's probably pretty close to being
stronger
accurate.
than me. Yeah. So, and that's kind of nice because I have to fight in the setup. I have to be smarter. I have to think a lot harder to try to work out a win. And some of the pins that I've gotten, it was certainly not because I was stronger. It was because I was able to outthink an angle when I got a second chance at somebody, and I was like, "Ooh, it went like that before. I'm gonna try this," and it works. So I learn a lot pulling dudes, even though I don't win a lot. So to me,
Well,
it's
that's
worth it.
impressive being like 2 years in, because usually it's like that 4 and 5 year mark when people really start figuring out how to get around people and putting all that shit together.
And being able
So-
to make adjustments. Yeah.
That's also the most satisfying win. I mean, being stronger is also satisfying. Obviously, it's just overpowering somebody, but
No,
you're
that match
somebody
I'm
that's not-
currently thinking of right now is probably my second most proudest moment I personally have for myself with arm wrestling, because I know that I outthought it and I earned it, and that felt so good. Because
Okay, so we got a couple of questions here. First, one from me that we're going to answer later because I'm drunk and I don't want to forget it. So I'm going to ask it now, and someone's going to have to remind me after we deal with the super chat. But
Roger,
women's opponent, which one do you want? Who do you want to pull in the women's class? But first, the super chat. We're gonna have to go around the horn on this. Do you think Marcio Barbosa should have pulled out of the East First West? I'm gonna go first because it's my fucking show and deal with it. I think that was like getting COVID really fucks around a lot of shit, but I've had it. I know what happens, and I think how far out he was when he got it to pull out is I don't know. You have to make your own decision on how you feel about it. But when you're losing that last week and a half of your peak training time, it's just you're not showing up at your best. It's whether or not you're willing to go perform knowing you're not going to be where you want it to be. Can you still make it to the event? Yes. Can you still pull? Yes. Are you going to be as good as you would have been? Probably not. But if it was me, I still probably would have went. I wouldn't have pulled out getting COVID 5 weeks out of an event. But that's just me. Marcio, one of those top level dudes, losses really bother those guys. So what I would do and what he would do, hard to say. Tiny?
Yeah, I was gonna say I pretty much agree with you. I had it as well, and yeah, it would definitely fuck up a peak pretty good. And if you fuck up that last 2 weeks, that really fucks up your peak, because now you're detrained by the time you're going into the event, not deloaded. Like you're not just rested and fully recovered and hitting that like bounce back period. You're past that and now like on a detrain because you weren't able to actually hit the peak, and then you've had to basically rest up to the event now. So yeah, and once you're at that level, if you're not going to show up at 100%, like you just made the point, which we were talking about earlier, a loss is really meaningful. I don't think it's worth the risk at that point. It means that he knows them. It means if it says anything, it says that he thought the match was close enough that he couldn't just come in, as Travis would say, like off the couch, you know. And
right, and like Morozov's a bad dude, but he had both of his opponents pull out, which sucks. Alan, what do you think?
There's not much more to say. Well, I'm around the same page as you guys. I was really disappointed to see that when he pulled out. I was like, what the hell? But then you're taking all the factors, like some people getting the COVID, it affects other people more than others. He could have had a bad bout of it. The peaking for his training, definitely having to stop pulling earlier. I don't know, how many weeks was he out when he announced it?
I think it was 5 weeks out, but
5 weeks. That was a little bit much. Yeah.
Well, it's right in the peak before you start your rest. Like that's where you're doing your toughest training, making sure you're going to be ready after your rest, whatever. And Danielle?
I don't think I'm up to date with this match.
Perfect. That's a quick, easy answer, and we can move on right back into who do you want to pull after this on the women's side?
So the match I actually have coming up, I don't know if y'all saw Michael Todd's last announcement, but he's doing an event at the Monster Factory on March 19th and set up a right and left hand super match with Lehrer and Wilson with me. But whoever, I'll go back to that, but who really pops in my head first is the very first weekend I ever arm wrestled on a table ever. I got to grip up with Alexandra Asarova. And I remember as a very first time arm wrestling table that to me, her wrist just felt like iron. Like it was just made of iron cables. And now after having like 2 years of experience, I would jump at any opportunity to feel her hand again, because I feel like that would tell me a lot about myself, where I've come.
So you want to like get on the practice table with her?
I would accept a match too. I don't know. I'm no one, so I don't know why she'd, call me out. But if I had opportunity to pull her at tournament or super match, 100% I would say yes. But practice table would be great too. Yeah, any opportunity I would take it.
So that's just one you want to use to like just compare where you've come.
Yeah,
right?
the kind of person I want as a goal would be.
Right, well, give me the one that you would pick for a super match for yourself that you think it's going to be tough, but you might be able to squeak out that win. Like, we want the toughest fight that you think you could win to move yourself up in that women's division.
So up until this is interesting to say because I do have a match with her coming up March 19th. But that was really Lehrer and Wilson for me. We just got an opportunity to pull in a tournament at Illinois State. And I did manage to squeak out the pin. And I think, Evan, you commented on that one. You made a joke. You made a joke that my form was good, but
yeah,
he said something about my position. But that was her. I had pulled her in a tournament 8 months before that, and she spanked me. And she called me about this pulling at the Monster Factory that Michael Todd's hosting on the 19th, and she asked if I would want the right and left there. So I'm taking this one pretty seriously because I know she just felt me. It was really close. She's a really, really talented puller. She can pull anywhere. She has a lot of experience. She trains hard. She's super knowledgeable. And the fact that she even asked me again means she's got a plan. So I'm actually like nervous in a positive way, like excited about this upcoming match with her because we did not get to do left, and this is going to be super match. So
you're pulling a super match with her left like a week after a super match against a dude.
Yes.
God, I hope there's a better line on this one.
He's hungry.
You realize how bad an idea it is to pull events a week apart. Even 2 weeks apart is not enough time to rest. How old are you?
30.
30. You are way too fucking old to be pulling back-to-back events.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
I'm not supposed to say that, right?
I
I already asked her weight too, so whatever.
So there's what I mean. You might be right, but then there's what I do, which is. But all right, I'll say like you're correct, but I recover really, really well from tournaments. Like after Illinois State, I destroyed my arms, and 2 days later I'm back in the gym, and it really doesn't slow me down.
Wow.
Now, the first year that was not true. Like my first year of arm wrestling, I just arm wrestled a shit ton, and I would try to train in the gym, and I would just do it anyways. But everything, like anything overhead, bench press, even squatting, I could barely hold a bar because it hurt so bad. I could squat 2 days after a tournament now, and it was fine. So unless I get hurt, which is always possible, but I feel like unless I were to get hurt, as long as I take that week to actually do a little active recovery and then just rest, I think I'll be all right.
I completely disagree. I think it's just absolutely crazy. There's no way you can have your body peak to perform at peak performance, especially if it's somebody that you're really targeting a goal for.
Yeah.
I would never sign up to do back-to-back weeks that I actually care about the outcome on. But I mean, I remember when I was 2 years into the sport and I would show up back to back every fucking weekend if I got the opportunity to, and I'd still fit in 3 table time practices during the week before going to do it.
There are probably those lessons I'm going to have to learn the hard way.
Probably because you're clearly not going to listen to me. But either way, in that match I'll send
you a text. I'll give you your "I told you so" if I regret it.
Well, that's fantastic. That'll make me super happy knowing I was right once again.
Like,
you know what? Here's the thing. You know how I know that I'm right on this?
Yeah.
Because I'm talking.
Always right.
And when I talk, I'm right. I don't ever argue with people. I just explain why they're wrong. That's all.
That's the kind of confidence.
back to the match that I watched you pulling with her. The comment that I made, we'll just like use the nice stuff, was about how deep you were able to get your hook and how far you can turn your hand in over her. If
That's
you're
right.
able to get that amount of wrist flexion to get that deep in, I don't think she's going to be able to do much. Mind you, you're pulling a super match a week before.
At least it's left hand.
You're
They
going to have
got
to get
money.
like, I don't know, EPO or something mixed into that sandwich.
I thought
I
you
really-
didn't know what hand you were pulling this dude.
It's left.
Okay.
Yeah, he picked left.
I am lucky though, Evan. You noticed that like my cup, I have a really strong cup, but my pronation and rise are lagging way behind that.
Well, it's not so much how strong your cup is that I was noticing. It's how deep you can actually get in and turn around them. Like my wrist doesn't come that far down.
Got it. Yeah,
Like,
I've pretty
and
good
for a
wrist.
guy that likes to hook, not being able to get any deeper than that, like
Right.
it's not optimal.
Right.
So
He's still
anytime that I see
flexible.
somebody that's actually really able to carve right in and then turn under them,
Yeah.
it's like I watch the match and I'm like, fuck, I wish I could do that. It just,
Yeah, is that why you got so
doesn't work
fucking
that
good
way.
at side pressure though, Evan? Because if you can't get that little extra inch of leverage, you just fucking drive.
I'm great with side pressure. That's all I want to
Yeah.
do. If I could
Right.
get more, I
Right.
think I would do
It would
better at it.
maximize that
It's-
so much. Yeah.
yeah,
What came first? Like did arm wrestling take some away from you, or did you just never have really flexible wrists?
well, I fucked up a lot of my shit like my entire life, just living
sure.
as a savage the way I do.
Being the way you are.
And my shoulders have just been super fucked. Like I can't, this is me trying to scratch my back. Like I can't do it.
Yeah.
Even like a normal back scratcher, like it's not enough. I need to get it with angles and shit in it. It's not easy. Normally I just find a tree and do it like a bear,
Yep.
but
At least
my
you're in
shoulders
Canada.
don't really work that way. I'm just not a super flexible guy.
I've
doesn't
lost a
work
ton
that
of
way.
flexibility since weightlifting. Before lifting, I could grab my hands behind my back and just hold like my own hands behind my back, and like this is kind of what I got going on now.
Yeah. That's
Not
just
good. I
over
wish
the
I could
last
do
couple of
that.
years?
My fucking daughter puts her hands behind her back like that and locks her fingers, and then she
Yeah.
can pull her hands in front of her
No,
without breaking the lock.
That's gross.
Yeah.
I would be.
Danielle, so you used to be able to do that 2 years ago, and since you started arm wrestling, you lost that flexibility?
Actually, strongman had a lot to do with that too. So
Okay.
I'd say 4 to 5 years ago.
Okay. I thought it was specifically because of arm wrestling. I was gonna.
It's
Make
not
some
an
assumptions.
injury either. It's just like getting less flexible. Maybe if I should have stretched while I was working out, but I didn't. You don't really realize when your flexibility is leaving until you measure it one day and it's gone.
Yeah,
Also,
because you're so focused on those certain movements, right? It's just like
Yeah.
arm wrestling. You're all inside all the time. You don't really concentrate on that at all.
Right.
Well, it's a problem. I think everybody that enjoys being strong and healthy overall, like I don't really give two shits about it. I just want to win arm wrestling matches. And I don't care about being strong at everything else. I just like arm wrestling, so I do it a lot. I don't really lift. Well, I've trained my hand for this match, but rather than that, I don't train like whole body anything. I just
So are
don't
you
do it
saying
'cause I
though,
fucking hate it.
like
But
the chest
you need
development and
to
everything you
train
have is
all
arm
of that
wrestling?
shit for your overall body's performance. You can't neglect the opposite ends of things. Otherwise, you just overcompensate too far and you end up atrophying on the other side and like losing all this mobility, which is
Yeah.
not a good thing. I wish
No.
I wasn't a fucking lazy piece of shit that just wanted to get drunk and like hang out and party all the time and took care of myself. But at the same time, I got a lot of memories that I can't remember because I did choose to go this way instead. Either way, we got a couple more super chats here. We're going to go with Chris Maple's super chat first because there's no words on it and it's easy
Just
to cover.
Just say thank you. Thank you, Chris.
Right. I was getting there, but you cut me off. The second one, Alan, seeing as you're playing with that fucking donut, Matthias Bedard says, stop playing with the donut and eat it. So go ahead and take a bite out of that
Fucking
donut
rubber.
first.
I
Take a bite.
can't.
Just take a
I
bite.
can't.
Alan, take a bite.
I can't.
Weak
Now
ass
that
jaw.
attitude.
You're right.
Either way, Matthias, send those super chats into Grant. Maybe someday we can see him eat that fucking frog. That'll be amazing too. That actually might even be better than this sandwich match. Watching Grant Diet eat a frog. Does nobody else want to see Grant eat a frog?
I'd watch anyone eat a frog, so it might as well be Grant.
We got lots of guys on our team willing to eat that frog if people want to fucking see it. But
What?
I want to see Grant do it. You know,
Oh, I've
that's
seen
kind of
it.
his baby, and to steal his thunder would be rude. You know, you just don't do that to another YouTuber. It's kind of mean.
See that?
But
All
I-
right, Grant, if you're listening, your clock's ticking. You better eat that frog or
I got a story about eating frogs. So I used to be a youth counselor. Okay, so it was outdoor therapeutic program. Anytime anybody fucked up, they were a shithead, it affected the rest of the group. So we all had to stand in a circle and talk about what happened and how we're gonna deal with it, kind of shit. This frog comes jumping through, and one of the kids grabs it and bites it off, just for effect. It was the most disgusting. You hear the bones crunching and everything. It was like the most
like
disgusting.
no one
thing
dared
I've
him.
seen.
He just did it.
Oh no, we I don't know why we ended up having to restrain him. We tackled him down and because he ate a frog, but it was.
So Alan likes beating up kids that are just hungry. Great, Alan. Good job, man.
Yeah.
My little brother
He's
tried
hungry.
to bite the face off of a pike because it bit him when he was trying to take it off the line.
Fair is
And-
fair.
He was upset that he couldn't actually get its face off. So he threw it back into the water and jumped onto the truck because we just drove the truck into the water so he could fish out of the back of the truck. And then he jumped off the truck and dropped an elbow on that motherfucker. And then he was able to bite its face off. It was good.
He softened
I
it
love
up.
your stories.
See how quick my story was and way better than yours, Alan? You gotta fucking stop
Yeah.
telling stories. You fucking just get better at it. Just be a better
Got a
person.
whole life story
I
there,
like
didn't
you
we?
better when you're drinking, Alan. Why are you trying to be sober tonight? You're the biggest drunk on
What
the
are you
team.
talking
You're just,
about?
like, not drinking.
I'm drinking. I'm down.
Counsels
Need a new
children, Evan.
Hmm?
He counsels children.
Used to. He got fired from that, from tackling children that he wouldn't let eat.
Can't do that anymore.
Evan, did you blow off your bicep or did you heal it? I'm assuming that super chat from Kyle McGrath 84. I'm assuming that's going back to my torn bicep tendon. No, I did not blow it right off. I just kept arm wrestling with it. And like that 4.5 year mark, it just stopped hurting. It's never come back so that I can do the things that I used to do with it. But I used to have a crazy ability to pronate and I was like impossible to hook. And now I don't. But I got stronger in other areas trying to deal with that shit. So it all works out in the wash.
Yep.
10 beers in, Evan, 70% of my macros. I don't know anything about macros, but 10 beers in is not a bad day. You're like
What are you
almost
drinking,
ready to
Evan?
compete.
Bud
Have you
Light.
ever tried drinking before an event, Danielle?
Yes. I usually have one or two beverages just to get in the take the edge off and get in that you know, that mood where it's not making your blood pressure drop yet, but you just feel that bit of confidence. That's
Yeah.
where I like to get.
That's
Yeah,
where
I mean,
Evan
It
lives.
takes a different number to reach that level, but I'm on the same page.
You have more experience. You're a professional. I understand.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I would put my liver into a competition against anybody's anything.
I would not put my liver in a competition against yours. Hardest working liver in the North America, no doubt.
Well, hardest working, still fully functional liver, that's for sure. I had to go get it tested for health insurance and shit. And they said it is A-OK. It is
Elevated enzymes for your liver.
Nope, my liver is just perfect.
You
It
need
is-
to be studied.
It is just perfect. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. That's it. This is the
I couldn't believe it
epitome
either.
of a healthy liver.
Oh, Chef Jason, can I just say in that recent arm break video you made, I really appreciate how you did not show the break. That
That's
was
because YouTube wouldn't let him.
Well,
No,
Good. I hate that
no,
shit.
I mainly
I
did it out
hate
of
it.
respect for Richard. I don't think he wanted everybody to see it, and I thought it would also.
Can you like send me the video, just the clip of the break itself on its own?
I was gonna send it to you, and right after it happened, I was gonna send it to you and Dave Knox and ask you guys if there was any point where you thought maybe you would have stopped the match, but I've reviewed it enough to know that there wasn't an
it was
opportunity
too
to.
quick.
It
I don't
happens
actually
so
want to see
fast.
that.
And it
fucking
was
thing.
how
It's
it
gross.
was exactly how I thought. He top rolled, even though he looks away when he top rolls and loses his hand. He like looks back and he's clearly fighting up, and then he just dives in.
Mhm.
There was no opportunity to
The
stop it. But
transition
that
was too quick.
I was a bit about what's that?
The transition was too quick.
Yeah.
All right, we got another super chat here.
yeah,
Matt,
I
tickle
could-
my limits, Larrett. What's up, you awesome people? I can't wait to see you stomp that kid, beer man. I also feel the same way about booze and arm wrestling performance increase.
Cool.
Yes, it is.
Nice.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought you were done. I like just jumped in there, but you weren't done talking. My bad. I fucked that up. Here's the thing. When you're drinking, you assume things.
You know, Evan, I really don't think it takes alcohol for you to be yourself.
No,
No.
but I don't like people when I'm sober.
Yes.
That's it. I just
It makes
really
everything
don't
easier.
like people. I don't want to be around them. I want them to leave me the fuck alone.
It lubricates social experience.
It gets rid of my social anxiety. That's
Good.
what I'm going to blame. I actually don't drink alone ever.
That's interesting.
Hates people.
Don't say ever.
All right, guys.
Oh, you drink because of people. You really do.
Anytime I have to deal with people, I fucking drink. Yeah, I fucking hate people. I don't want to talk to them.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, Jason, you're fucking off.
Yeah.
We are actually
I gotta
signing
go.
out of here
Have a
in
good
like
one. Thank you guys.
4
Yeah,
minutes.
I gotta work early anyways, but it's been great.
Thank you guys.
All right, Tiny,
Have a
it's
good
been
night.
great talking with you. Thanks for coming on,
See you,
buddy.
Jason.
Ciao. Have a good
Nice
one.
meeting you, Danielle.
Right back at you.
And good
Same
luck.
with you, Evan. It's okay.
There's no way you can say that honestly,
Why not?
because I'm an
This is
asshole.
bad company.
Wait. So you get to define what I think is fun.
Yes. One, it's my show. Two, I'm a goddamn man and I can do what I want. Three, go make me a fucking sandwich.
Well, how would you get it?
Okay, I'm ending the show on that.
I'm not challenging
I
you.
suck so
for that,
bad
I will
at knowing
lose
how to
that
end a
night.
show that I couldn't even like
All right.
walk out cool like
All
that. But let me try this
You want-
again. One,
Fuck
I'm
you,
a
I'm
man.
David
Two,
Bates, you're
fucking
an
whatever.
asshole.
It's my show.
Goodbye.
Three, make me a fucking sandwich.